Conflicting views on this issue of whether or not you can have a limited constitutional convention for one purpose. Is it your understanding that this would only be for one purpose, and if someone were to decide that we cannot have it for one purpose, that we would not be willing to open up the Constitution completely?
Yeah, that's right. There definitely seems to be some confusion about it. It's not true. This would be for one purpose only. Keep in mind, over 34 other states would have to pass the exact same language to create this. In 2018, we actually passed a resolution that would detail how we would deal with delegates and instructions of those delegates and call them back. So I see zero ability for this to become a runaway convention.
Sure. And I appreciate you bringing this bill. I think this is an important issue. My concern is, after reading law review articles from Yale as well as Duke, that there are people that are legal scholars, constitutional scholars, that have a differing view on this. And I think there is some clarification on our language and what we're willing to do as a legislature. But I want to make it very clear for the record that if we vote for this, it is only for the limited purpose of this issue.
That's exactly right.
Thank you.
All right, Representative McCormick for a question.
Yes, Representative Wright. And I just want to give you one of them. Did you know that Liberty Movement's actually kind of split on this? I mean, we understand term limits. We support them. I'm not a constitutional attorney, but there are two sides of the Liberty. Some of the Liberty group is worried about a runaway convention. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I don't understand why that's the case, because ultimately the amendment has to pass. You could have basically 13 states that would kill an amendment at the polls. So essentially, like the idea that you would have a convention go awry and you come back and do away with the Second Amendment is just kind of preposterous to me, because I don't see how that happens with just looking at southern states. There's no way it's going to happen.
And also, I'm being a Second Amendment supporter, I'm really always concerned about opening up the Constitution. So, I mean, until we get to the point to where my two sides of my Liberty Movement can agree on everything, and I'm not a constitutional attorney, I have to depend on them. So I'm torn on this issue, and I appreciate you though. Thank you.
You're welcome. 85% of Louisianans like term limits.
And I understand that too, but also, why don't they vote out the incumbents then?
Well, that's part of the reason why it's being done, but I hear you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Representative Robbie Carter for a question.
Representative Wright, I'm over on this corner.
Yes, sir.
So you get another viewpoint from the right side over here. At first, did you know that I was term limited one time? And at the time, I thought it was a bad thing, term limits was, when I had to leave. But then I managed, and my people saw fit to send me back down here. And it kind of changed my ideas about term limits, because I served with another group back years ago, and now I have new crew here to serve with, and I think new ideas are good. I think sometimes when they're up in Washington 25 or 30 years, things stagnate. Don't you agree?
I agree. I think we would do much better as a federal system with term limits.
Do you have a preference as to how long they would serve?
My personal preference would be 12 years for each side.
So that would be 6 elections a congressman would have to go through?
In the House, which is always supposed to be closer to the people.
And then 2 terms for a senator.
That's right.
Don't you think if we did this, it would help some of us smaller states maybe get some more than we have been getting, because there will be a lot of new blood, and you won't have some states sending the same person back there for years and years and years?
I think it's a great idea to bring in new ideas, fresh faces. There's no doubt in my mind that would do well.
Do you realize if there hadn't been term limits, then our governor may not be upstairs, because I may would have never left.
That's true.
I just say I'm in favor of the bill, Representative Wright. Did you know?
Sir. Thank you.
Representative Gary Carter for a question on the bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You look wonderful up there. Excellent. Representative White, let me ask you. This is for term limits for at the federal level.
That's right.
We have term limits at the state level,
That's right.
And so, what do you think about the level of knowledge that we have in this institution? Like, think about for instance, this is my second term, but I'm one of the most senior members on the Appropriations Committee, and I've only been in the legislature like 5 years. What do you think about the talent that we've lost over the last so many years because of term limits?
Representative, I think we have a tremendous amount of talent in this building. I think we have a lot of people that we can rely on for experience, but I think more importantly, we have new people, a new energy, a willingness to do different things that we didn't see when we have representatives or senators staying there for the same amount of time. So that's how I feel about it.
No, I certainly understand the idea of bringing in fresh blood, but I'm just worried about losing the institutional knowledge that we may have. Like, for instance, the last time we had a crisis on the magnitude of COVID was back in the time of Katrina during 2005. And there are very few members in the legislature who are still serving. We have Representative Francis Thompson, who was in the Senate, I think, at the time. But there aren't too many people who are still serving from back then who are still with us now. So what do you think about that concern?
They're a phone call away. I've been talking to a number of representatives who have been around that are no longer in the House. I receive the benefit of their experience, their knowledge, their communication, but they don't need to be serving for the 24th year.
They are a phone call away, but I find that many of the ones who are a phone call away are now lobbyists, or they're working for someone. So it kind of changes the relationship a bit, because I find that the lobbyists have been around forever, but, and the staff have been around forever, but not the legislators.
I find the lobbyists provided incredible service to us as legislators. I rely on them to help me understand how certain areas of our state benefit or have troubles with certain things. And the representatives that I rely on that have been representatives are not lobbyists. They're back home in my district, and I find them to be incredibly helpful too.
But if we had to pick who has the most institutional knowledge, we the representatives, the legislators who represent the people, or the lobbyists who have a paid interest, not that it's bad, but they're representing someone, that they have a interest in the outcome, like who's better to have the institutional knowledge, us or the lobbyists?
I think ultimately it's the people, because all of us at some point in our life started paying attention to this institution. We pay attention to the problems in Louisiana, whether it be from our careers or just doing certain things in life. I don't think we need to have people serving 24 straight years to benefit from that experience.
Thank you, and that's my concerns about it. And thank you, Madam Speaker. I just didn't recognize you up there. Sorry. Thanks.
Representative James for a question.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. You look nice up there as well. I was going to say the same thing Gary said. Representative Wright, are you running with this resolution now because Lance is running for Congress?
No comment.
All right, members, there are no further questions on the resolution. Representative Wright, you have a right to close.
I'll waive.
Representative Wright has moved final adoption of the resolution. As many of you are in favor of final adoption, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. The clerk will open the machine. Seball, yay. I don't have my glasses on. Miguez, yay. DeVille, yay, yay. Jordan, yay. Nelson, yay. Cruz, yay. Zetatel, yay. Bishop, yay. I got you, Bishop. Members, are you through voting? Madam Clerk, close the machine. 67 yeas, 18 nays, and the House resolution passes.